Howdy folks, and I hope it's wash day tomorrow wherever you are in collecting land, and welcome back to the channel for another 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. But no ordinary unboxing and review folks, no, this is probably one of Mr. Go Figure's most eagerly anticipated figures of 2025. Yes folks, it's Hot Toys 2.0 take on Arnold Schwarzenegger as the T-800 from James Cameron's classic movie Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and it's the clean version. We've already had the stunning T-1000 and T-800 Battle Damage 2.0 versions. Those are both up for review on the channel if you're wanting to check them out in a little bit more detail, and I'll put links to both of those reviews at the end of this one. But it's a double whammy for Mr. Go Figure because much to my shame, I've never owned the original. Yeah, I know, hard to believe, but no, it's never been in the collection. But also this is my absolute favourite T-800 look, the clean version. So, usual format folks, we will take a quick look at the box, then it'll be down onto the table for the accessories, then it will be out with the figure itself for an up close look, and then we'll be going out with the usual showcase at the end. But before we dive in, I'd like to send the usual HK size shout out to everyone who supported the channel. And please drop a like and hype on this video as it helps other people find Go Figure. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon so you're not missing any of the 1/6 scale reviews, previews, showcases, tours, and all that other stuff that we've got coming up. So, the box, let's have a quick look. Let's stop it from spinning and get up close and personal with it. Literally just come through the door, this figure. Brand new, literally straight out of the hands of the delivery individual and straight in front of the camera. And the box itself is looking not dissimilar to the T-800 Battle Damage version. What we've got on the front here is a picture of an image of the figure itself, done in this sort of super stylized black and red gradiated shaded look, and very impressive it is too. Catches the light beautifully. You've got this pattern going on in the background with this sort of high gloss red take on that pattern. You've got T2 on the front in super high gloss silver foil lettering. It says Terminator 2 Judgment Day, T-800, Hot Toys at the bottom there, and very nicely done. Quite subdued, quite restrained. I have to say I do prefer the original packaging that the Hot Toys T-800s came in, but this does the job pretty well. Around the side, it says T2 again at the top there in that silver lettering, T-800 at the bottom, 2.0 version. You've got a continuation of that sort of angular pattern going on, and there's also, if the light is catching that, there's a rendition there of the targeting system in the centre. Pretty much the same story around the right hand side. On the top of the box just says T-800 2.0. Bottom of the box, T2 Judgment Day, and the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice the seals are still intact on this one. As I mentioned before, literally just come through the door and gone straight in front of the camera. On the back, we have the usual credits, warnings, and all the people involved in the production of it. Warnings at the bottom there, don't piss this figure off, or it might be back for a 3.0 version. Slipcover design this one, so yeah, let's get that slipcover off and have a look underneath. What you are greeted with when you remove the slipcover is the usual story. You've got that clear windowed section at the front there, the figures underneath it, all the accessories, and I am assuming that the stand will be behind it. So there you have it, that's the packaging, and a nice box it is too. So without further ado, let's crack the seals open on this box, let's dive down onto the table and have a look at all the accessories that you get with your 2.0 T-800. Okay folks, so seals broken, accessories out, what do you get with your T-800? Well, there's quite a lot of stuff here. I'm fairly impressed with the quantity of accessories that Hot Toys have included here. So let's have a quick zip through. Start with the mundane stuff as we always do. Set of instructions, and as always, Mr. Go Figure recommends you read these prior to mucking about with the figure because we don't want it all to end in tears. So yeah, set of instructions, set of spare wrist pegs with a couple of spare buttons in there, always nice to see. What else? Hands, you know me and my strange hand thing. You get three pairs of ungloved hands, 3 pairs of gloved hands. Let's take a look at the ungloved hands first. We'll grab one at random and have a look at the quality that we've got here from Hot Toys, and I've got to say, Hot Toys hands, pretty much we've come to expect quality, and yeah, we're not disappointed here. The sculpt's very, very nice. We've got bone work in the back there. We've got that vein work as well with that that's been sculpted in and also picked out with that slightly purpley blue paint application. The skin tones and textures are very good. There's creasing on the knuckle area there. And great to see as well is if the light is catching this, that we've got painted in cuticles as well on those sculpted fingernails. Really nice detailing. Very, very well done. And what we've come to expect from Hot Toys hands, flexibility test. We're looking at a medium here, so shouldn't be any issues gripping any of the accessories. Most of these ungloved hands are for gripping the weapons, I am assuming. And yeah, you've got a whole variety going on here. But the paint and sculpt on all of them is exceptional, as we've come to expect. So that's your gloved hand, your ungloved hands. Let's have a quick look at a couple of gloved ones. Let's take a fisted one and an open one. And straight away, yeah, sounding like a cracked record on these hands, but yeah, it's the usual high standards. Nice sculpt there and that paint application to give it that leather effect. You've got those holes in the back there. You've got the creasing where the glove meets the wrist. The seam lines are sculpted in, the creasing in the palms as well to give it that glove look. Yeah, and overall very, very nicely done. And as I say, you've got fisted hands. You've got trigger finger hands and all manner of stuff going on, mainly for holding weaponry. But yeah, nice hands, very, very good hands. So we're off to a good start. So let's put those hands to one side. Let's talk weaponry. Let's start with a handgun. Now this is the hardballer, the 45, pretty much identical to what you get with the battle damage version. Sculpted plastic, very nicely done. Good silver paint applications, good black paint applications. It looks metallic. It's got a removable magazine with sculpted and painted in bullets, as we pretty much always get with Hot Toys weaponry, and it's got a sliding action as well. So yeah, very nicely painted, very nicely sculpted, and screen accurate. That's the hardballer. You also get the iconic Winchester, sawn-off Winchester. And I think this looks very, very good indeed. I've got to say, I do like this. Paint applications are really nice. It's got that weathered effect at the center there. The trigger assembly looks really nice and has got some weathering on it as well. The paint applications on the areas that are meant to be wood look nice. You've got those that screw detailing on the barrel of the gun itself. The barrel is this sort of gunmetal black, looks very, very nice. You've got more blues and grey hues in the centre there, but overall, yeah, very, very nicely done. And we wouldn't want them getting this iconic gun wrong. So yeah, that's the Winchester shotgun. You also get the grenade launcher. Collectors of Terminator figures from Hot Toys will recognise this, pretty much iconic as well. And very, very similar, if not the same. I'm assuming this is identical to the one that comes with the T-800. Stock, once again, nicely done, given that sort of wooden treatment, giving that wooden effect. You've got this nylon strap in a sort of military green, which is attached to either end. And you've got this scope, this sight, about midway down the barrel of the grenade launcher. I would exercise caution with this. I always say this, but that is super delicate and you wouldn't want to break it. It also has the cocking action as well. It's got this little lever on the top here, and this is very delicate as well. You don't want to break it, so just using your thumbnail, just slide that little lever over to the side there, and the grenade launcher opens up, and you can actually put a grenade in it if you want to. One of the grenades from the bandolier there. So yeah, that's the grenade launcher. You also get now. This is a hefty piece of kit. This, and this is the minigun. I think this is it an M134 minigun? Correct me in the comment section if I'm getting that wrong, but great inclusion, and yeah, very, very nicely done. This is too, all sculpted in plastic, and it's just it's the paint applications that struck me first on this. If the light is catching this, I'm loving the browns on the shading of browns and blacks on the barrels of the minigun itself. They give it that almost like it's been heated and then slightly rusted look. And there's weathering on the side here. If the light's catching that, there's weathering underneath as well, so it doesn't look brand new. The handle's done in a shiny gloss paint application. They've even picked the button trigger out on the top there. And overall, yeah, a very, very nicely done piece, this. I'm liking this a lot. So yeah, that's the minigun. Where would the minigun be without minigun ammo? So you get a strip of ammo as well. Sculpted plastic, this, nicely done. You can see the rounds inside the chain itself, the paint applications to give it that metallic look on the shells on the inside are great, and the belt feed itself is nicely highlighted with some very subtle silver dry brushing on there. So yeah, very nicely done too. And I believe, and I'm not going to attempt to do this now, but we will do this actually feeds in to the side of the minigun itself. And might as well, while we're talking about the minigun, look at where the ammo comes from. It comes from this satchel, nylon satchel, 6 scale zips on the top, very nicely done. Piece of foam inside to give it that robustness. Handles and Velcro pockets on the side as well. So yeah, that's where the belt feed comes from, and that's where it goes to. But we'll take a look at how that works when we bring the figure out. What else? You get this swap out T-shirt. Now, I might as well bring this arm in as well if we're going to talk about this T-shirt. Now, the T-shirt itself there's a black T-shirt on the figure already. That's the look I prefer. But if you're wanting to go for the Miles Bennett Dyson at home with the Dysons look, where he decides to remove the skin from his arm, you can do that too using this accessory. But the T-shirt itself, very nicely sculpted, very nicely tailored. You've got some the 1/6 scale weave in here is very good, as is the stitch work, so there's no chance of this throwing the figure off. And it's the colours screen accurate, and the stitch work's nice. You're probably asking yourself, why does it have this piece hanging down from the bottom here with these snaps on it? Well, that is because when you swap this out, you have to loosen the pants, partially remove the belt, loosen the pants, and this part goes underneath the figure and then attaches at the back. And I am assuming that is to make sure that this T-shirt stays super tight on the torso of the figure at all times. So you're not getting any creasing or anything like that, because the last thing that Arnold ever had when he was in T2 was an ill-fitting T-shirt. They were always just the right size to show off his muscularity, so that's what I'm assuming that's there for. So that's the T-shirt, but probably more importantly is the arm itself that you use with that T-shirt. Now, as I mentioned before, this is so you can replicate the sequence where he actually strips off his arm to prove who and what he is to the Dyson family. And I think this is very, very nicely done. Ball joint here to attach it to the shoulder. Reservation straight out of the box. This has that same sort of how can I describe this? I think I used the word pory before, and I ain't sure whether that's a word or not. But I just think this skin texturing is a little bit off on here, and it was the same with the swap out arm for the battle damage version. I think they've overcooked it with the texturing on here. It's a little bit too rough, looks a little bit too old. Too many pores and too wide open, but I think the muscularity is on point there. They've got the size with the bicep and the tricep, and the sculpted in muscularity. It's just a little bit rough on the texture there. I think they got a little bit carried away. But coming down from that section of the arm, you get to the elbow joint. The elbow joint is a ratchet there, and you can move the exposed arm. Now, this exposed arm, I've got to say, very, very well done. Loving the wound area where it's been exposed there. You've got that ripped flesh and then ripped skin on top with the wet look blood paint applications to pick out the details. The metal arm itself, well, it's actually plastic. It's all one piece of sculpted plastic, this arm. The arm itself is very nicely done. You can see all the metal in there with the silver paint applications to give it that metallic look. You can see all the pistons and all the joints in the fingers. And that blood paint application as well to make it suitably gory. All really, really well done. The only criticism I've got here, and I'm probably just nitpicking, I would have liked to have seen these fingers articulated. They're not articulated, they're static, these fingers, so I would say don't try moving them. That will end badly if you attempt to do that. I would have liked to have seen some form of articulation in there. I know it would have been super delicate, probably added to the cost of the piece itself. but some articulation in there would have been nice, just so you could have him flexing his hand the way he does in the movie. But overall, nicely done. Just a little bit concerned about the texturing on that upper arm. So that's the arm that goes with the t-shirt. What else? Oh, we missed this in the weaponry. It's the bandolier. Canvas, very nicely done. Metal buckles, as with the battle damage version, cold to the touch there, and the individual shells that pop out if you're wanting to use them with the grenade launcher. And I'll just see if I can get one of these out without it flying off into the distance, so you can see the sculpt and paint here. And there it goes. I shall retrieve it. That's always going to happen because Mr. Gofinger has sausage fingers, as we all know. The shells themselves are very nicely done. I like the weathering on there, that copper section there, that silver band down the middle, all nicely done, and you can have him loading and unloading. And if you've got the bandolier on, you can have as many or as few grenades in there as you want. So that's the grenades and the bandolier. Oh, you also get the Purrs Doodah as well, as comes as standard. What else? Now, let's talk about this box. Iconic, the box of roses, which he pulls the Winchester out of. I think this looks really, really nice. My only complaint straight away here is I would have liked to have seen sculpted plastic. Now, I believe, and as I mentioned at the top there, I have never owned the original of this figure, so I can't vouch for this being cardboard in the original. I believe it was, but that just is not going to stand the test of time for me, especially if you're using it in a dynamic pose with him maybe pulling the gun out and the roses flying to one side and the top of the box falling. I would have liked to have seen Hot Toys use plastic here. And I know that's sort of counterintuitive because the box itself in the movie will have been cardboard anyway, but that's just a personal thing. But yeah, it's a gold cardboard box. You lift the top off, and what you're greeted with inside are some sculpted plastic roses, and let's just get those out so you can have a quick look. Yeah, quite nicely done, if a little on the basic side, but yeah, they're red roses with some green leaves and stems. And you can remove these sections here to store the Winchester in there as well if you want to. So yeah, that's the box for the gun and the roses. These small pieces, now we will talk about these in more detail when we actually bring the figure out itself. Now these sections are for the top of his head. There's a flap on the top of his head where you can actually insert these two stoppers, and underneath there is the chip, the infamous chip that has to be removed. Yeah, so you can actually have that, so you can actually recreate that sequence where the chips have been put in or taken out if you want to. So yeah, we'll see those as I mentioned when we bring the figure out, but I'm not taking them out of this little plastic thing because you saw what happened with that shell with the bandolier. We'll never see him again. So put those to one side. Glasses, the all-important glasses, all one piece of sculpted plastic. Now, getting these right is super vital with this figure in my opinion, and it looks like Hot Toys have nailed it. The shape has to be just right, and that looks on point to me. High gloss, correct. Those two white lines on either side, correct. So yeah, it looks like they've nailed it on with the iconic sunglasses. As always, I will issue my customary warning: be super careful with 1/6 scale plastic, sculpted plastic glasses of any kind. They can break by just looking at them. So there's the glasses. Finally, the base. Now, no diorama with this one because this is not a DX, but what Hot Toys have given us is their standard hexagonal base, and very nice it is too. All plastic on the bottom there. It says T-800 across the front. You've got that sort of, how can I describe it, almost like that resin section across the top there. It says T2 Judgement Day. You've got this flame effect going on. The T2 itself is super high gloss and reflective, so the light plays off it. No feet on the bottom, unfortunately. Would have liked to have seen some feet to give it some stability, but it is what it is. Yeah, very, very simple, very, very straightforward. Not sure I'll be using this in the display because I've got the 2.0 versions of the 800 and the 1000. I'm sure their diorama bases will be coming into play when I display this guy, but yeah, it's a nice inclusion and looks very, very effective, and comes with the standard issue crotch grabber, which fits at the back there as always. So there you have it, folks. That's the accessories. So without further ado, let's bring out the T-800. Let's get him onto that stand, onto the turntable, and have a close-up look at him. So here he is, it's the T-800 clean version, version 2.0, straight out of the box, straight onto that standard turntable, and I have added nothing here other than the sunglasses for that iconic look. So, first impressions. I've got to say, first impressions are very, very good indeed. The proportions look on point. The waft of real leather that you get when you open this box is reassuringly pleasant. The outfit looks amazing, screen accurate and on point, with a couple of minor niggles, but we'll get to those around that jacket. But on the whole, I think this is a stunning, stunning piece, first impressions wise at least. But we will do as we always do. Let's get up close and personal with Big Arnie. Let's stop him from spinning. Let's get him off that standard turntable and have a close-up look. We will start at the bottom as we always do and work our way up. Now, there's going to be a lot of crossover here between the battle damage version and this version. I think these boots are pretty much one of those things. All one piece of sculpted plastic here, very nicely detailed. You have tread on the bottom there, if the camera's catching that. The weathering is really nice. That buckle is sculpted in very well and painted very well. The heel is screen accurate. My only issue here is no split cut boot design, and it was the same with the battle damage version. So as far as articulation goes, you've got a decent amount of movement right and left, but not an awful lot going on forwards and backwards. And as with the battle damage version, now these boots are a soft plastic coming down into a hard plastic underneath these leather pants. Now, it wasn't so obvious, it was only obvious on one side of the battle damage version, but you're getting this on both sides here. And you're getting that ugly line around the top there, where the top of the soft plastic of the boot is pushing against the leather. And now it might sound like I'm nitpicking here, but it does throw it off a little bit. Those visible sort of boot edges at the top there, I would like not to have seen those. It might have been a better idea to make those narrower. I am assuming these legs are pegged on. Maybe narrowing them there, or just cutting them shorter so that they don't protrude as much, maybe cutting them down here, I don't know, but it just plays to my OCD a little bit. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, I don't think it throws the figure off completely, but it would have been nice to have seen a different solution there. But the pants themselves, as with the battle damage version, these are beautiful, lovely soft leather going on here. And yeah, they just feel and look phenomenal. You've got that high gloss leather finish there. The graining in the leather is just the right scale and proportion. The detailing on the leather pants and the stitch work is exemplary. From these concealed stitches up the side here to these detailing lines that run across the top of the thighs. We'll bring him around the back here so you can see this, and the detailing across the back of the calves there. There is, as you can see here at the back, and I did notice this straight out of the box, there is quite a distinct alteration here between the graining on the left hand side here and the graining on the right hand side. Now, if you can see the graining here, it's far more pronounced and larger on the back of this left leg than it is on the right leg. Yeah, it does clash a little bit. I mean, once again, it's not a deal breaker. And there are, you know, leather isn't an exact science. You are going to get these kind of changes in texture and tone in leather. It's not enough to throw the figure off, but you can notice it. But the pants themselves, beautifully tailored, as I mentioned. The stitch work is great there in the crotch area and around those pockets. Once again, you do get that little sort of ugly line at the back there, but as I say, not a deal breaker. You've got the 6 scale sculpted in zips into the leather as well, which look really good with the tassels on there, and those tassels are real, they're not plastic. Moving up, we didn't mention the proportions. The proportions are absolutely nailed on. I mean, Hot Toys have been making Big Arnie figures for long enough not to get the proportions right, and they are, as far as I can tell, absolutely spot on. Up to the waist section, you have that. Oh, we didn't cover articulation. Now, I'm not going to push this too far on this figure. Obviously, we're looking at leather pants here. Yes, they're far more durable than something like a PU or a pleather or anything like that, but I'm not going to go overboard here. But you've got that ratchet joint at the knee there. Now, that will go a lot further back than that, but I ain't pushing it any further than that because I don't want to damage this leather or crease it. And I believe there's a swivel at the thigh there. There is articulation at the top of the legs, but once again, these leather pants are super tight. I ain't going to push it too far. As with the battle damage version, you've got a ratchet joint, well, a ball joint, I think, going on in the waist area there, so you can get a decent amount of twist, and you can get that forward and backward movement going as well there. The belt itself is leather also, with a metal buckle there. As I mentioned before, that needs removing actually, or loosening to change this t-shirt out, but that has more of a brown hue to it, which is, now I would have to go back and check this, but that looks more like a deep brown leather rather than a black leather. Let me know in the comment section below, was it a dark brown in the film and not a black? I'm going to have to go back and check that one, but yeah, it looks nice with that buckle. The jacket itself, now this was one of my, and I'm going to stand him up here, get him to freestand on his own. The jacket straight out of the box, I had a few concerns about, and it was mainly the shoulder area, but we'll get to it, we'll work our way up. Now, the first thing I did notice as well is that the jacket itself, look, I expected them just to stick on the jacket that they used in the battle damage version, just without the battle damage, but it actually looks a little bit shorter to me. Now, I don't know if that's my imagination. We will bring out the battle damage version just to square off against each other, see if my eyes are deceiving me. But I thought it was a little bit longer. But the jacket itself, once again, it's made out of that same beautiful leather. It's soft to the touch, feels really durable. And the detailing on the jacket itself is exemplary. You've got, first of all, you've got this belt which has been sewn down so it falls right at either side there. You've got the sculpted in zips, which look really good. You've got the pockets there, and these pockets, they're not working pockets, but the tops do lift up. You've got the tassels on the faux zips there as well on the top, around the shoulder area. The fall, the fit, the finish, from this angle at least, looks great. Around the back, you've got the real tassels. I'll lift his arm up here so you can see this. You've got those real tightening sections there at the back. It's a little bit, as you can see here, there's almost a flap going on here, and I'm not sure about how this jacket has been fitted to the figure. Now, this is, we might as well cover it now. Straight out of the box, I thought this shoulder, the collar section around here was a little bit creased. I've tried to futz it out, and pretty much it's fallen out. But we've got this this sort of flap at the back here. Now, whether that is intentional, I am assuming it is, judging by the way it creases into the arms there. Yeah, at first I thought that was unintentional and I was trying to pull this section down, but the belts around the back, the details are really nice with those silver highlighted button sections. You've got the sculpted in zips in at the end of either arm there, which work really well. And overall, I think they've done a good job. It was just it just needs a little bit of futzing around this shoulder area just to get it to sit right. The arms, the articulation of the arms, well, once again, we're looking at the same situation as the T-800. You've got a ball joint at the arm there, a butterfly joint going on, you've got a bicep swivel going on, ratchet joint at the elbow. Once again, I am not going to push this too far. This one is very, very stiff straight out of the box, but this one is not quite as stiff. It feels like there's some padding going under there. Now, whether that's actually the arm itself, whether they've used the same silicone arms, I'm suspecting they've used silicone arms under here. I'm going to have a quick peek. No. We'll take this jacket off when we swap him out for the other look, but I'm suspecting we've got silicone arms going on underneath here. Now, not sure about the choice of silicone arms there. It would be useful to have one for the swap out t-shirt version where he's got the exposed arm. Not so sure it's such a good idea having both arms silicone, but we'll get to that. The t-shirt underneath, the black t-shirt, very nicely done. Very simple, but very effective. The stitch work around the collar is very good. It rides just right, just the right height on the neck there, not too high, not too low, yeah, the fit and finish is very, very good. On to the head sculpt now. We're going to take these glasses off so we can get close with this head sculpt. I'm going to bring it as close into camera as I can. Now, I think, and it's probably a good idea actually at this point to bring in the battle damage version, so we can put these two side by side. I suspect what we're looking at here, if I can get these both heads to look up at pretty much the same angle, it looks to me, and this is the first time I've seen them next to each other, that the sculpt might be the same. Obviously with the removal of the battle damage on this side. However, the paint applications look slightly different. The paint applications on the clean version look slightly darker. We've got a slightly more tanned look, if the light's catching this, than we have on the... I'm going to hazard a guess here that these might be separate sculpts. I'm going to have to use a microscope to go over these to try and determine whether these are different or not. What are your thoughts on this? Drop a comment in the comment section below. I'd be fascinated to hear your take. Do you think these are identical with just added battle damage, or whether that's a separate head sculpt? I am not 100% certain. My eye is telling me that might be a different head sculpt. But yeah, please drop a comment in the comment section below. I'd be fascinated to hear. So we'll... Oh, and while he's here, actually, we can take a look at what I mean by that leather jacket. As you can see on the battle damage version, the jacket tends to drop here to about halfway down the crotch area, whereas on this version, it's a lot shorter. It's barely touching the bottom of the belt. Now, I think the collar falls better on this one. However, I think the size might be ever so slightly off on this clean version. Once again, what are your thoughts on that? Drop a comment in the comment section below. So let's take out the battle damaged spoiler for the time being and get back to the clean version. So get up to that head sculpt. So yeah, I had an issue with the battle damage version where I thought the eyes were just ever so slightly too wide. Now, I'm not getting that as much here, which suggests to me that this is a different head sculpt. It's a separate head sculpt. I'm not getting that wide-eyed look anywhere near as much, which is a plus point for me. And once again, the skin tones and paint applications, I think, are different. However, I actually prefer this one to the battle damage version. I think this is a better head sculpt. If it is a different one, proportions nailed on, skin tones and textures are absolutely there. Is it Arnie? Absolutely 100%. The paint applications around that jaw, the jawline is perfectly done. The skin texturing is excellent. The eyes are the right colour and touch wood, the right size. That jawline with the hint of 5 o'clock shadow, absolutely on point. The hair, let's talk about the hair. Beautifully done. The colour is right, the style is right. Let's get him back a little bit so you can see this and actually see it at the top here. Yeah, and there is a concealed section in that hair that we will look at in a moment, but it is that well concealed. I couldn't find it at first. It took a few minutes to actually locate it, but the hair, beautifully done, individual strands picked out there. The colour is right. The feathering around the ears there is great. The proportions on that neck look just about right to me. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. Is it ever so slightly too thick? Is it me? Well, one thing my eyes are drawn to is, once again, and this was an issue with the battle damage version, is this the pores on the neck here are way too pronounced. Once again, he's got that lizard skin neck that he's got on the battle damage version. Now, it's not, once again, it's not a deal breaker for me, but you know, once you spot it, it's me and my OCD. Once I spot something that's slightly off, my eyes are constantly drawn to it. I would have liked to have seen that neck a bit smoother and have the same texture as the rest of the face. It does look, it's jarring when you get up close, but as I say, from a distance, it ain't a deal breaker. I think that is a phenomenal head sculpt. I really do. As I mentioned before, well, let's take a look at this now. There's a small hairpiece here. You just need to get your finger in there and it's held in by a little clip, but it's mainly friction. It's got some blood paint applications underneath there, and once you've got that top off, you can actually insert the chip that we saw earlier in that little plastic container, and then you can actually put that that sort of screw cap section back into place there to hold it in. Or if you're wanting to, you can actually use that same little hole there that the hairpiece attaches to, and you can attach that flap of skin that we saw with all the lovely wet look blood paint applications. So you can have that flap of skin over to one side as well if you wanted to go for that look in the display. So nicely done, nice options, very, very small part, so take care. And I like the way they've done that hairpiece. It is virtually invisible. I think it's very, very well done. So there you have it, folks. That is, let's get him back on the stand and turntable. I think what we need to do is swap out the looks here, get him in the other t-shirt, and go in for a final verdict. Okay, so looks swapped out, but why isn't he wearing the grey t-shirt, Mr. Go Figure? I hear you collectively cry. Well, there is a reason for that. Let's stop him from spinning, and it's worthy of an explanation. Okay, to swap out the t-shirt, well actually before we cover that, let's just take a quick look at these arms. The reason I could feel the softness underneath, these are silicone arms, but they were still covered with the protective film that they come with in transit, so I removed those. But yeah, we've got two silicone arms underneath, very similar to the one that is included with the battle damage version. And I think that the skin tones and textures on these silicone arms is very, very good. The muscularity is there, the muscle definition is most certainly there. You can see those triceps and those biceps, and the paint applications are really, really nice. The seam line is running down the back of the arm, barely visible, but yeah, very, very nicely done silicone arms. And if I can do this one-handed, which I can, yeah, they're on a ratchet joint there, a secure ratchet joint, and so yeah, the inclusion of two of these is a great idea. However, I would like to have seen maybe a pair, as with the battle damage version, a pair of jointed plastic versions of these for use underneath the leather jacket itself, because if you keep the figure in a dynamic pose for any length of time, are you risking this splitting and tearing? The big question. So yeah, as with the other version, an inclusion of a couple of normal arms would have been greatly appreciated, but maybe that's just me. Let's put that to one side. Let's talk about swapping this t-shirt out. Now, as I mentioned before, you need to loosen this belt. To do that, I would recommend using a pair of tweezers, getting them underneath the buckle here, gently levering that belt out. Not all the way out, doesn't need to come all the way out. But once you've done that, around the back here is a Velcro section, as you can see. You undo that Velcro section, and then you are supposed to pull the pants down in order to expose, and I shall bring the t-shirt in at this point, to expose this flap, which is fastening from front to back. So it's somewhere around this area here. So you're supposed to bring the pants down to access that. Unfortunately, Mr. Go Figure, and this is picking up bits of fluff and dust already, couldn't get these pants to go down. Now, I did not want to apply the kind of pressure that was needed to actually get these pants to come far enough down to access those two snaps underneath. They're super tight on these legs, these pants, and as they should be. However, the pressure required, I really did not feel that it was that I could do that safely. I felt that there was a risk here to the leather, so yeah, I wasn't about to risk damaging the leather. So unfortunately, for the time being at least, he's going to have to stay with the black t-shirt on. So yeah, that's a bit of a minor niggle there, a bit of a gripe. I can see why Hot Toys needed to make this shirt super tight to keep it screen accurate. However, maybe just a tighter fitting t-shirt without that snap mechanism at the back would have been better. Maybe with some gripping, maybe some Velcro at either side, which is attached to the body. Some thin Velcro might have been a better idea. But let me know in the comment section below. Do you have this figure? Have you encountered the same problem here around the back? I'll be fascinated to hear. But that to one side, the fact that you can't have the, or at least I can't have the grey t-shirt on, I think that that swap out exposed arm is super effective. I think it works incredibly well. Yes, you get a bit of an ugly joint there, but that's inevitable because obviously you couldn't use a silicone arm with this attachment. Well, you could probably, but it would probably add to the price point. Overall, I think the effect is very, very good. It's stunning, in fact, if you want to recreate that scene. Only I won't be recreating it with a grey t-shirt, unfortunately. Didn't mention as well in the previous section, let's just pop his head off. PERS system. It's standard. You've got that pad in the bottom of the chin area of the head sculpt itself to protect the neck, and you've got the two eye moving sticks in there to get your finger in and muck about with. Simply slots on and off. It's very simple, and you've got the full range, obviously, the full range of motion going on in that head, which is great to see. So I think what we should do is tool him up and go in for a final verdict. Okay folks, so it's verdict time on Hot Toys 2.0 take on the clean version of the T-800 from T2 Judgement Day. Where to start with this guy? Let's talk about the good points. Accessories, absolutely on point, nailed on. I was going to go for the full minigun look here, but I just think this look is so iconic with the Winchester and the dark glasses. I absolutely love it. It just says T-800 Terminator to me all day. Yeah, accessories, absolutely nailed on. That swap out arm, if you're wanting to go for the Dyson look, let's call it that. The weaponry, the handgun, the shotgun, the minigun, all beautifully done. The bandolier, excellent. Everything absolutely nailed on. Let's talk this outfit. Superb, absolutely superb. Yes, I had a little bit of futzing issues with that leather jacket in the initial phases, but with some work, it falls fine. The stitch work on this leather, phenomenal. The quality of the leather, superb. Can't be faulted. The suit itself, the jacket, the t-shirts, beautifully tailored. They're simple, but they're done really, really well. The figure, proportions, nailed on. Screen accuracy in spades. That head sculpt. Now, I have spent a little bit of time off camera here, brought in Mrs. Go Figure for a second opinion, and we are of the mind, we could be wrong here, please correct us in the comment section, that these head sculpts are the same. Obviously they differ because the battle damage version has the battle damage, but the basic sculpt itself is the same. However, the paint applications are different, and because this clean version obviously doesn't have that battle damage, which can visually narrow the face a little bit, you don't get as much of an issue with the eyes that I had looking too wide in the battle damage version, or slightly too wide. So I think the head sculpt is probably one, and I'm going to chance my arm here, of the best, if not the best, Arnie 1/6 scale head sculpt ever made. I think we are looking at a future grail here. It is phenomenal. As you can see here, the presence of this figure is just amazing. It is simply next level stuff here from Hot Toys. I think we are looking at the definitive 1/6 scale T-800, and that's it. I'm chancing my arm, throwing my hat in the ring. I don't think this has anything that comes close to being anywhere near as good in 1/6 scale. I think it's superb. Niggles, downsides. Well, these are probably some niggles and some personal stuff. That neck, what were they thinking of? The same issue with the battle damage version. The skin texturing on that neck is off. As I say, it's not a deal breaker. It's only something you notice if you get up close. But I really cannot begin to understand why Hot Toys did that and then repeated it with this version. Very strange. The removal of that t-shirt and getting it back on, having to pull the leather pants down, which is damn near impossible. That's annoying because I would love to be able to swap out those t-shirts to go for that Dyson look in the display. Yeah, perhaps not the best solution in the world, perhaps not the best thought through. However, as I say, minor niggles in what is simply a superb piece. I love this look, as I mentioned at the top there. I think it is stunning, and Hot Toys have given us a stunning piece and absolutely a future grail. So score out of 10. Oh, this is a tough one. This really, really is a tough one, because to all intents and purposes, this is a 10. Just those minor niggles there are stopping it from me giving it a 10. Just that neck, really. I don't think on this channel I have ever given a 9.9. I don't think I ever have. I think what we're going to do is we're going to break with tradition and do something we've never done before. We're going to give a figure a 9.9. The only thing stopping this from a 10, stopping this from being a 10 rather, are that skin texturing on the neck and that really, really odd solution where you have to try and pull leather pants down that won't come down. But apart from that, to all intents and purposes, it's 10. But we'll say 9.9 because I'm funny that way. So there you have it, folks. That is Hot Toys' take on the T-800, the 2.0. So what is your opinion of this figure? Do you have it already? Have you got it on pre-order? Do you have the original? Normally we would do a compare and contrast video to follow this one up, but unfortunately, because I don't own the original, we can't do that. How does it stand up against the original? Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this 2.0 version? I will be fascinated to hear your opinion on this, on the film, on Hot Toys, on anything at all. So as I mentioned before, drop a comment in the comment section below. So what do we have coming up on the channel? Well, there's a raft more new figures from Hot Toys. We've got more figures from In Art, from Susu Toys, Present Toys, Premier Toys, Caustic Plastic, X06, Iconic Studios, the list goes on. We have a load more previews coming up on the channel. We have more showcases, we have more tour videos, we have more of everything. So as I mentioned at the top there, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon. I suppose all it remains for me to say is a massive thank you for watching, as always. From myself, from the stunning T-800, a massive thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and until next time on the channel, happy collecting, and it's over to the showcase.